Hey guys, Ziblord here, back again with another review, and today we're having a look at the Marvel Legends Build-A-Figure Sasquatch. Let's get into it. Alrighty guys, so as I said before, today we're having a look at the Sasquatch Build-A-Figure. And before we do that, we have to quote-unquote build him now. What do you need to build him? It's pretty simple actually. You need the Paladin, he comes in one of the legs. You need Domino, which comes with one of the arms. X-23 and Deadpool come with the main components, the head and the torso. Deathlock comes with the other arm, and Cable comes with the other leg. Now, if I was going to rank these guys right here, right now, I'll probably do it a little bit later in the video as well, but Deathlock is definitely my favorite. Cable is definitely another favorite, and not here, not present, is Redpool here. Well, he is now, because I brought him in, who was supposed to have a choker. Sons of bitches, gypped me. So this is not the same Deadpool that I reviewed, and it's a different one. I really like that figure, but since he doesn't have a back piece, he's not sitting right in front of you right now. He's not sitting here. He's not. He's not! But yeah, after that, I'd have to say it's a toss-up between the Gray Deadpool and the Domino, only because I don't have the Hascon Deadpool. Although I do think I would still prefer this one, because he has the added pieces on his wrists and ankles there. And then I'd have to go with X-23 and then the Paladin, because Paladin is a throwaway character that no one asked for. X-23 is not a bad figure, just not a character I'm too psycho about. But panning the camera down, you can see all the parts laid out in front of you. And without further ado, let's get this guy together. Alrighty, so putting the Sasquatch together, you got the torso here. You want to take the legs. Find the legs. I'm going to take the legs and you just want to pop them in like so. There's one. And there is the other. Now he can stand proudly. Next thing you want to do is you want to take the arms. Just want to peg them in. They'll click, but it's not exactly... That one was a little softer. This side's a little better than that side. And both arms on mine are stiff enough to hold a pose, which is always nice. And last but not least, you want to take the head, plop it in right there. And there you go. That's pretty much it for the Sasquatch. So without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so here we have the Sasquatch, all built, and initial thoughts, not bad. It has a couple of things I'd like to talk about, but the build was rather easy for such a big character. I think it should have been a little bit more, maybe not hard, but a little bit more secure, because some of the parts, especially the thighs here, do like to pop out a little bit. But that's neither here nor there. But just getting right into it, because he has no accessories to speak of. Look at that. Awesome head sculpt. Very nice. I wish he was snarling, to be honest with you. But, yeah, whatever. But articulation, his head will rotate. Has a hinge on there. And yes, he does have an ab crunch that works pretty decent. So, I just have him kind of hunched, because that's what I see when I see the Sasquatch. But it does move. Very gappy, though. Stick my whole pinky in there, almost. Not so bad from the back. I'll give it that. Waist swivel. The shoulders will move out, and they do come off pretty easily. I mean, that took some force, but doesn't take a lot to put it back in. And they do have this little bit of wiggle there, which I'm not exactly fond of. But yeah, there is that. They do rotate all the way and stay in place on mine. I've seen some people's where they don't. This side's a little bit more on the loose side, but still tight enough. Bicep swivel, single joint at the elbow. That'll give you about 90. It's pretty close to 90 anyways. A little bit of gappage in the back, but not too bad. The wrists swivel and also hinge, both in and out. The hips move out that far. Sorry about the weird lighting. Get this big arm out of the way. Hips move out about that far. Not too bad, especially for a big guy. Thigh cut, and this is where the issue occurs. You can easily pop these out. I mean, no effort. But they do pop right back in with no effort. So I guess this double-edged sword there. He does have a hinge at the foot and a rocker joint. And nice little toes. Look at those toes. I kind of like this hand over here. I kind of wish he had a set of interchangeable hands and a head. Considering the red pool in the wave did not come with much of anything. But, yeah, we'll just stand him back hunched. And I guess get right into the size comparison, since there really is nothing else to talk about. He's a big, hairy monkey dude. Pretty straightforward stuff, if you ask me. And no, he is not a reuse of the Man-Thing, if anyone was wondering. He is a little bit bigger. So with that being said, let's get into some size comparisons. Alrighty, and starting off with the usual, here is Sasquatch next to Pizza Spidey and Taco Deadpool. And as you can tell, finally got a figure that really dwarfs Taco Deadpool. And in case you were wondering, there he is standing straight up. Dwarfs him even more, which is excellent. Sasquatch is supposed to be a big dude. So the fact that he dwarfs Deadpool makes that much more sense. But with that being said, let's move on to some other size comparisons. And here is Sasquatch next to the rest of the Deadpool wave, including Redpool. Well, the new and improved Redpool, because he's got that stupid little choker piece now. Yes, bro. And yeah, this is a pretty stacked wave, not gonna lie. You know, aside from that little pipsqueak on the end there. Deathlock, the one next to him. Not Gray Deadpool, the one next to him. But I'd say if they had put Gwenpool instead of the Paladin and put the Paladin in the Lizard wave, because he's more of a Spidey villain anyways. Granted, Gwenpool really has nothing to do with Deadpool, but it would have been a better fit. I think this would have been a more solid wave overall. I mean, Gwenpool's not even Gwen Stacy, right? So they should have put her in here instead of the Paladin. They should have put the Paladin in the Lizard wave, making that wave have two duds, him and the Spider Woman, because those are the worst Marvel Legends I think I've reviewed this year so far. So boring. But with that being said, this wave is stacked otherwise. Deathlock is my favorite figure of this wave. And then you got the 90s Deadpool and Cable. They're kind of tied for me, but they're probably my second, third favorites. I really like the X-Force Deadpool, as much as a lot of people are shitting on him because they already have him. I didn't, so yay me. And then Domino, she's probably tied with the Gray Deadpool, only because it's another Deadpool, but it's not a bad Deadpool. And then you got X-23, and then you have Paladin. Now, like I said, X-23, not a bad figure, just not my thing. But I do like it quite a bit. So overall, I'd have to say this is probably... Am I gonna say it? Am I gonna drop the bomb of all bombs? Ooh. This has got to be one of the best Marvel Legends waves ever, if not, I don't know. If Sasquatch was a little bit stronger, a little bit, and the Paladin didn't exist, this would probably be the best wave of Marvel Legends figures ever. And that's a bold statement because it doesn't have Ghost Rider in it. Rhino Wave had Ghost Rider in it, but it also had the shiny Misty Knight figure. Yeah. So, with that being said, let's move on to a couple more size comparisons. And continuing with some more size comparisons, as promised, here is Sasquatch next to the only other Build-A-Figure I've reviewed so far this year, and of course being Thanos. Thanos, I don't know, he might be the weakest link this year. I'm not counting I'm not counting Okoye, only because she came out last year. Let's get real. But this Thanos, boy, it's Thanos. Him and that, what is it? That SPDR or whatever. They're probably going to be the weakest bass of the year, but SPDR is probably leaps and bounds ahead of this guy. This Thanos is just a big fat disappointment because it's not the one we wanted. But with that being said, one final size comparison. One more. I promise. Alrighty, and last but not least, here is the new Sasquatch next to the old Sasquatch from Toy Biz. Just trying to buckle on me. Stop that. Knock that out. Cut that out. There we go. But as you can see, he's a little short, isn't he? This old one's a little tricky to stand, though, I'm not gonna lie. But I don't mind the slenderness of the old one, really. Bigfoot, the creature itself, has varying sizes and forms, so I'm just going to call this a slender version of himself. He's been going on a diet, But I kind of like the old one a little better. All that, and you can do the Dio sign and flip the bird, but that's besides the point. With that being said, time to move on to final thoughts. Alrighty guys, so wrapping up with final thoughts. This isn't a bad Build-A-Figure, but I don't think it's as good as I was hoping it would be. Like I said, I kind of almost prefer the Toy Biz Sasquatch over this one, even though this one is bulkier, and I do kind of prefer that. For some reason, I kind of like the proportions on the older one a little bit better. But that doesn't mean that this is a bad figure. No, in fact, this is one of the I think better Build-A-Figures Hasbro's done the past couple of years. I mean, it's definitely not Mantis or Okoye, so that's a plus, I suppose. But I'd put this up there with probably some of their better Build-A-Figures in recent years. It just has a couple of issues that kind of knock it down a couple points for me. But with that being said, I think he deserves, I'm going to give him an 8 out of 10. So with that being said, hope you enjoyed this review. Hope you enjoyed all these reviews. This was a few weeks in the making, and we're finally going to get on to finishing the Lizard. Yes, that'll be next week. But first, I do have one surprise for you guys. That'll be up Friday. So, until next time, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. And until next time, catch you guys later.